They didn't just make a mistake, they surrendered their entire purpose. You pay the licence fee, you fund the research, and you expect the BBC to tell you what is true and what is false. But when they got caught out doing exactly that, calling a spade, they didn't stand their ground, they folded. The BBC apologised to Nigel Farage for bias, but the reality is much darker. They just apologised for telling the truth. So let's have a look at this, brilliantly pointed out by Adam Bienkov. BBC presenter looks down the lens and says sorry. Sorry for using language that didn't meet editorial standards.
Now an apology. Earlier today we heard live from Nigel Farage speaking at that election event we just saw, and when we came away from his live speech I used language to describe it which didn't meet the BBC's editorial standards on impartiality. I'd like to apologise to Mr Farage and viewers for this.
Bienkov points this out perfectly. He notes that the only person apologising here is the journalist who actually did their job. The man with the history of inflammatory comments? Silence. The man who was accused of racially abusing his classmates? Silence. The man who claims to have bought a house in Clacton, only then not to bought a house in Clacton, that nobody ever sees him at? Silence. But did you notice what was missing in that apology? There was no correction of facts, no claim the reporting was inaccurate, and no evidence presented that the substance was wrong. It was just tonal. Apparently describing Nigel Farage too directly is now considered a breach of standards. He didn't apologise, he demands apologies, and he gets them. And that's why it's infuriating, because we have eyes. Look at this quote. Nigel Farage, the man of the people, on the subject of face masks says, and I quote, "I didn't wear them last time, and I won't wear them this time." A definitive statement, a matter of public record, a fact that he is presenting to you. Now look at this photo. That is Nigel Farage. That is a mask, and it's literally strapped to his face. He isn't spinning the truth here. He's looking at reality, looking at you, and denying that the two things aren't connected. He wore the mask. We saw him wear the mask. We have the photos of the mask. But he says he didn't. And when the BBC hints that maybe, just maybe, this man plays fast and loose with the facts, they are the ones that have to issue the correction. It creates a permission structure for lying. If you lie big enough and loud enough, the institutions won't just let you get away with it. They'll humiliate their own staff to appease you. They value balance over truth. They think impartiality means giving the liar the same respect as the honest man. But that isn't impartiality, that's just being complicit. And if this is how the media treats Nigel Farage, what does that mean for everybody else who gets challenged or criticised or scrutinised? Because once you see the rules for what they really are, you'll never watch political coverage the same way again. The BBC have decided that offending Nigel Farage is a greater sin than misleading the British public. They have chosen their side. Question is, why do we keep paying for it?